Sadhgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, Mahabharata233. As you may remember, Virata was plowing through the enemy. He met Susharma. A duel was fought between these two. The battlefield was covered by the dust rising from the ground. The dust almost hid the sun. The entire field became dark because of that. In the sudden darkness that fell on the field, Susharma the Trigarta took the Matsya king captive. Virata's bow was broken into two. He was helpless. When he thus was rendered helpless, Virata was carried bodily out of his chariot and away to the chariot of Susharma. The darkness lifted. The soldiers saw that their king was captured. There was panic in the ranks. All of them began to run away from the field of battle. Yudhishthira saw what was happening. He told Bhima, "The king has been captured by Susharma. He thinks that the king is helpless. I want you to go to Virata's rescue." Bhima said, "Surely that fool does not imagine that the king is helpless." "Of course I'll go and rescue the king." Bhima saw a tree nearby and tried to uproot it. Yudhishthira smiled and said, "Please, Bhima, do not do that. We're not supposed to be recognized. If you use your technique, I'm sure Susharma will know who you are. Please fight like others do and do your task. Leave that tree alone." Bhima laughed loudly and said, "You're right, my lord. I'll go now." Bhima and his brothers Nakula and Sahadeva ascended their chariots and proceeded fast in the wake of Susharma. Yudhishthira followed them. The four of them challenged the Trigarta. Seeing the four warriors, Virata fought with new vigor. Lifting up his mace, Virata fought with Susharma in the chariot itself. Before the winking of an eyelid, Bhima had jumped into the chariot of Susharma, the Trigarta. Bhima said, "You've been harassing our king and our cattle. You've wounded the poor innocent people who were guarding the cattle. Without any reason or any provocation, you have waged war on the Matsyas. Why should I not kill you for this?" Bhima defeated him easily. He made Susharma unconscious, and he bound him hand and foot. He released Virata. He carried Susharma to his own chariot and brought him before Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira laughed at his victim and told Bhima, "Release the sinner." But Bhima would not do so. He said, "Susharma, if you have any desire to live, then you must admit in front of all these people, your soldiers and ours, that you are the slave of our king. That is the etiquette of war, and you must follow the rules." Yudhishthira smiled at his brother and said, "No, do not keep insulting him. He's become a slave already since he has been defeated. Do not humiliate him by asking him to admit it. Release him." Susharma went away from their presence, his face burning with shame. The cattle had been regained. The enemy had been routed. Virata was very pleased with the four Pandavas. They spent the night in the tents, pitched on the battlefield. Virata could not find words enough to praise Yudhishthira. He said, "I do not know how I'm going to repay you for your help. It was you four who won the day for me. I would have been the victim of Susharma but for your timely interference. I will give you all I own. Tell me, how can I repay you?" Yudhishthira said, "I'm glad we've been some help to you. What we did was but our duty. You have helped us all these months, and this was just a way of showing our gratitude. You don't have to repay our kindness, as you're pleased to call it. We did nothing remarkable." Virata was not satisfied. He wanted to give them everything he had. He said, "When I think of the valor of Valala, words fail me. I must reward him." Sadhgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.